In an apparently very painful moment on Tuesday evening, an elderly woman who appears suffering from age-related bending and muscle weakness known medically as kyphosis could be seen struggling and battling helplessly for the safety of her own life as a group of terrorists invaded and took over a church in Nigeria. The worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, were attacked during their church service that was live-streamed on social media platforms, and the video live coverage captured the moment the elderly woman was moving from one hideout to another, hiding under table, trying to move fast and run for safety alongside others before the terrorists, who also parked the worshippers' belongings, intercepted the camera device that was live streaming the church service and probably destroyed the device. The attack, according to Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA News Media, known as ECWA Nationwide Gist. The attackers were Islamic terrorists and they invaded the church located at Eruku community, a border town with Kogi State in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State around 5 p.m. on Tuesday evening, killing 3 worshippers at the spot and kidnapped several Christian worshippers in the church including the presiding pastor. The ECWA News Media has reported in recent days that the attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria is growing almost higher on daily basis, specifically stating that Reverend Father Bobby Pascal, parish priest of St. Stephen Parish in Kushgaju, Kagako local government area, Kaduna State, was kidnapped by Islamic terrorists in the early hours on Monday, November 17, 2025. In addition, the ECWA News Media also published image of 12 residents including an ECWA pastor that were kidnapped by Islamic terrorists last week at the Gidanwaya community in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. The safety of the elderly woman is yet to be ascertained as at press time, as the Kwara State Police Command of the Nigeria Police Force described the successful terrorist act as an attempted bandits attack, according to Sahara Reporters News Media. Eyewitnesses reported that the attackers came in suddenly, shooting sporadically, and gathered some worshippers, including the pastor, and marched them into the bush. The exact number of abducted victims remains unknown, but residents say the attackers fled through bush paths linking neighboring communities. The incident has left the community in panic and chaos, with residents and travelers fleeing into surrounding bushes for safety. At midnight on Tuesday, some stranded travelers in a viral video called for help as they could not continue their journey due to the terrorists who were on rampage in the town. Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA Nationwide Gist News Media stated that, this evening, around 5 p.m. today, Islamist terrorists invaded CAC in Eruku, Kwara State while evening service was going on. The pastor of the church and some females have been kidnapped, 3 people shot dead. The church program was on live stream when bandits entered the church. In another report, the ECWA News Media stated that another Catholic priest has reportedly been abducted by Islamic terrorists in Kaduna. Reverend Father Bobby Pascal, parish priest of St. Stephen Parish in Kushgaju, Kagako local government area, Kaduna State, was taken in the early hours of Monday, November 17, 2025. The Gidanwaya community in Lere local government area of Kaduna State has released photos of 12 residents abducted by bandits last week. Reports indicate the attack left 4 people dead and several others injured. Among the kidnapped are 6 women, a minor, 3 young men, and an ECWA church reverend. The victims remain in the hands of the kidnappers, with the community urgently appealing for their safe and immediate release. Punch newspaper on Tuesday reported that at least 5 persons have been killed and several others abducted after suspected bandits launched 2 separate attacks in Eruku, a boundary town with Kogi State in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State on Tuesday. In the first incident, the attackers stormed a branch of the Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, during a special service, shooting sporadically before targeting worshippers. The Punch learned that 3 worshippers were shot dead on the spot, while the pastor and an unspecified number of congregants were whisked away into the bush. An eyewitness, who pleaded not to be named, said, the gunmen came into the church while people were gathered. They started shooting and 3 people died immediately. They later rounded up some worshippers, including the pastor, and marched them into the bush. The exact number of abducted victims remains unclear, but residents said the gunmen escaped through bush paths leading to neighboring communities in Kogi State. Earlier in the evening, the bandits reportedly launched another violent attack along the Ilorin-Kaba road, forcing travelers and residents to abandon their vehicles and flee into nearby bushes. A traveler returning from Niger State, who recorded a distress voice note obtained by the Punch, said, "We suddenly ran into them. Everybody abandoned the cars and scattered into the bush. They came around 6:30 p.m. and started shooting. 2 people were killed instantly, and we don't even know how many were taken. They're still shooting, you can hear it." A community leader, Mr. Benjamin Iyeribe, told the Punch that Eruku has been under perpetual attacks for the last 3 weeks, lamenting that repeated distress calls to authorities have yielded no tangible response. "We have begged the local and state governments for help, but nothing concrete has come. We are living in fear every day," he said. Iyeribe added that despite resistance from vigilantes, local hunters, the police, and the Eruku Progressive Union, the relentless attacks have overwhelmed the community. "We need federal help. These attacks are becoming too much for us to bear. We are pleading with the president to intervene urgently," he said. Sahara Reporters News Media also reported that the Kwara State Police Command has confirmed a terrorist attack in Eruku town, which occurred around 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18th. According to a statement released by the police public relations officer, SP Adeto Nigere Adeyemi, the divisional police officer, DPO, of Eruku and his team, working alongside local vigilantes, responded swiftly to the sound of gunshots from the outskirts of the town. She noted that the combined security effort reportedly forced the assailants to flee into the bush. The statement read, "The Kwara State Police Command confirms an attempted bandit attack in Eruku, which occurred at about 1800 hours of today, the 18th of November 2025. The DPO Eruku and his team of police operatives, in collaboration with vigilantes, swiftly responded to the sound of gunshots emanating from the outskirts of the town, prompting the hoodlums to flee into the bush. Upon thorough search of the area, one male victim, Mr. Aderemi, was discovered fatally shot inside the Christ Apostolic Church, Oke-Asegan, while one Mr. Tunde Asaba Ajayi, another victim of fatal gunshot, was found in the bush. A vigilante, Shegun Alaja, sustained gunshot injuries and was immediately rushed to ECWA Hospital, Eruku, for medical treatment. CP Adekimi Ajo commended the swift response of the police and vigilantes. He also assures the public that security agencies will not relent until these hoodlums are totally decimated. Further updates will be provided as investigations progress, she added. Meanwhile, Barrister Opeyemi Bodand, in an ex-social media post written as a letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stated that, "I'm writing to bring to your President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attention a dire situation unfolding in Eruku community, located in Kwara State. Tonight, heavily armed bandits brutally attacked worshippers at the Christ Apostolic Church, resulting in the tragic loss of lives and the kidnapping of many innocent worshippers. This heinous act is the latest in a series of assaults that have plagued our community for months, with Osi, Eruku, and Egbe roads being hotspots for these attacks. It's worth mentioning that the state governor's efforts seem inadequate, and we desperately need your leadership and support to address this crisis. As the president, you have sworn to protect the lives of Nigerian citizens, and we're counting on you to uphold that promise. Eruku shares a boundary with Kogi and Ekiti states, and we urgently need an increased security presence, in particular, the deployment of military personnel, and I urge you to take concrete steps to bring an end to these attacks. Please, Mr. President, act now to save lives and restore peace in Eruku."
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, under the command and control of the President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has kept mum since early morning night on Monday, when a MAG news agency, the international media outlet of the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, started sending and disseminating a photograph of Brigadier General Musa Uba in ISWAP captivity, indicating untrue. The Brigadier General, the Nigerian Army authority, had earlier claimed on Saturday to be safe and led his troops back to base, a statement the army issued to challenge media reports that the Brigadier General was captured and held captive by the ISWAP terrorists after the terrorists ambushed the 25 Task Force Brigade of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, killing several soldiers and civilian JTF members in Wajiroko village near Sambisa Forest in Borno State on Friday around 5 p.m. This Humangal news media that was among the earliest news providers that reported the ISWAP deadly attacks on Nigeria soldiers on Saturday, after being challenged with a denial press release issued by the Nigerian Army Authority that the Brigadier General was not kidnapped, claiming the Brigadier General led his men to fought through the ambush of the terrorists, forcing the terrorists to flee in disarray. Humangal on Monday early morning published a news report and insisted that the Brigadier General was in ISWAP captivity. According to Humangal, it was already in possession of a photograph showing the Brigadier General in ISWAP captivity, but, due to its editorial policy, it would not publish the image. Soon, the image of the kidnapped Brigadier General became available to some media through a MAG news agency publication that claimed that the Brigadier General was executed shortly after being interrogated by the ISWAP terrorists. The MAG only presented a photo evidence of the Brigadier General being captured, but any material evidence, if the Brigadier General has been killed, was not provided, following the apparent unfortunate development in the Nigeria Army community. Former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar on Monday in a statement personally signed called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to admit incompetence and the president should either ask for help or tendered a letter of resignation immediately. According to the former Nigeria Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, I am deeply saddened and extremely shocked and disturbed by news making the rounds of the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba by terrorists and the failure of the military hierarchy to clearly explain how it happened or what went wrong, as initial official denials indicated that this was not the case. This for me is unequivocally a failure of political leadership, as the president seems only more interested in decimating the opposition by all means possible, while forgetting his crucial role as Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces. General Musa's death, along with the deaths of some of the troops he was leading, is one death too many and a bold terrorist resurgence our dear country cannot afford. I urge all citizens and our military leaders to take heart, as even this season shall pass away. To Mr. President, the security of the lives of our people is your primary responsibility, and you must live up to it or be humble enough to admit incompetence and either ask for help or resign. If I were president, I would order the military to occupy Borno State or any state under siege by bandits or armed groups until they clear those areas. We must care enough for the men and women who put their lives on the line for our sake. I offer my condolences to the Nigerian Armed Forces, the family of the bereaved, and indeed to all Nigerians. May this dark period pass over us as a nation, sooner than later. Premium Times in later report on Monday evening, stated that the brigade commander, Uba, earlier declared safe by the Nigerian Army after fighters of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, ambushed his team along the Dambo-Abu axis in Borno State, has now been reported dead. The terror group, ISWAP, has announced that it captured Mr. Uba and killed him. The group also shared photos to prove its criminal act. PR Nigeria, a news platform close to security agencies, also confirmed that the general was kidnapped and killed after military authorities thought he was safe after surviving the initial ambush. On Sunday, citing a Humangal story, Premium Times reported that Mr. Uba was kidnapped after ISWAP terrorists ambushed his team alongside operatives of the Civilian Joint Task Force, CJTF, on Friday night. The army, however, denied that he was kidnapped and said he was safe after soldiers successfully repelled the ambush. ISWAP claims it executed Mr. Uba. In an Arabic statement published in its propaganda newsletter magazine, AMAC, ISWAP said it had captured Mr. Uba and executed him after he was interrogated. The 2016 breakaway faction of Boko Haram attached a picture collage of Mr. Uba, showing when he was in office and when he was captured. A picture of the brigade commander from inside his office and a picture of him after he was captured by the Islamic State. The group captioned the picture. Islamic State fighters overthrew a senior officer in the Nigerian Army after a successful ambush on a military force in Borno, the group said, adding that the commander was captured after he fled from the Wajiroko attack. ISWAP said as soon as it received intel that Mr. Uba had escaped, a unit of fighters set out to search for him, and succeeded in capturing him on Saturday, near a village, after he was wounded. The purported picture of his capture shows Mr. Uba's camouflage stained with blood around his legs. ISWAP said it interrogated Mr. Uba before killing him on the spot. The terror group further taunted the Nigerian Army, describing its statement as an outright lie and a miserable security failure. PR Nigeria reports that Mr. Uba earlier confirmed his safety to his superiors after an aerial operation that helped him escape the ISWAP attack. But the event took a tragic turn. Reports of his location compelled the terrorists to track him down, leading to his capture and subsequent summary execution after an interrogation, the platform reported. Mr. Uba's killings, according to experts, marked the first time the insurgents would kill an officer with such a high rank. His killing was blamed on insecure military communications within the Northeast Theater, PR Nigeria reported. Humangle, in an earliest news report on Monday morning, stated that the Nigerian Army's statement that Brigadier General M. Uba, the brigade commander 25 Task Force Brigade, successfully led troops back to base, after an ambush last Friday, November 14th, in the Damboa area of Borno State, northeastern Nigeria, has been challenged by an exclusive, verified image obtained by Humangle. The image shows the senior officer alive but held by insurgents, contradicting the military's official account. The ambush by ISWAP fighters on a joint military and civilian joint task force, CJTF, convoy on View Road resulted in the deaths of several soldiers and CJTF members, with the general's whereabouts initially reported as unknown. Humangle's early report cited sources on the ground who said the general was abducted during the attack. We later reported that he had escaped on foot and returned to base, after several security sources insisted on this. The Nigerian Army also issued a statement denying the abduction, insisting the general had safely led his men back to base and that the incident was an ambush, causing casualties but no kidnapping. However, the military provided no evidence to back this claim at the time. A verified image Humangle has seen shows the commander in the custody of ISWAP insurgents, with a gunshot wound to the leg. Verification was carried out through detailed frame analysis, geolocation cross-checking, and confirmation from independent security sources familiar with the region and the incident. The image, shortly after the ambush, shows the general surrounded by armed fighters, appearing fatigued but alive. Humangle, in line with our editorial policies, has made the editorial decision not to publish the picture. This new evidence directly challenges the Army's public statement, highlighting a significant discrepancy in the information being shared about frontline realities. The contradictory accounts raise concerns about communication gaps within the military and the potential consequences of misinformation for public trust and operational security. The capture of a serving commander marks a rare and serious development in the ongoing conflict with insurgent groups in Nigeria's northeast. In recent months, ISWAP has intensified attacks around Damboa and the wider Borno region, escalating the dangers faced by both military personnel and civilians. Security analysts who reviewed the image described the abduction as both an operational setback and a symbolic blow to Nigerian forces fighting the insurgency. Families of soldiers deployed in the area have expressed frustration and anxiety over the conflicting reports about their loved ones' safety. Efforts to secure fresh comments from the Nigerian Army have been ongoing, but as of publication, no new statement has been issued addressing the emerging evidence.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
United Nigeria Airlines confirmed in a statement issued a few minutes ago that two popular Nigeria social media influencers, Martins Vincent Otts aka Veridagman and Freedom Ok-Petritz-Atsboy aka Mr. Jollof were deplaned and handed over to Asaba International Airport Police Authority for investigation after the two celebrities goes physical with each other inside the United Nigeria Airlines aircraft as the plane was about to depart from Asaba to Lagos early morning on Monday. In a press release issued and made available by the airline's public relations officer, Chibuike Uloka, the United Nigeria Airlines, confirms that an altercation occurred between two passengers, identified as Martins Vincent Otts, Veridagman, and Freedom Ok-Petritz-Atsboy, Mr. Jollof, during the boarding of Flight UNO 523 at Asaba International Airport on the morning of the 17th of November 2025. In full compliance with global aviation safety protocols, our crew responded immediately and professionally to de-escalate the situation. Both passengers were deboarded without delay to ensure the safety, comfort, and security of all other passengers and crew members. They were subsequently handed over to airport security for further investigation. United Nigeria Airlines places the highest priority on safety and maintains a zero-tolerance policy for any conduct that threatens the security or well-being of passengers or crew. After all standard procedures were completed, the flight departed safely while the passengers involved in the altercation were still with the authorities. We remain firmly committed to providing a safe, respectful, and secure travel experience across our network. Videos made online by co-passengers on the plane showed Veridagman threatening to slap Mr. Jollof, and Mr. Jollof advanced towards him in a manner that was initially and apparently perceived by others inside the plane as a joke, until the situation escalated into a mild brawl as crew members and passengers tried to intervene. It is gathered that the fight occurred as a result of misunderstanding both had since 2024 wherein Veridagman had reportedly vowed to attack Mr. Jollof anytime anywhere. Shortly after the fight, Veridagman in a video statement said that, "I don't chop Jollof father for inside plane. Man way day bite, I beat am."
Give them wine. Give them wine. Give them. Give them. Give them. No. Give them.
Please don't. See.
I don't understand you.
Oh, I don't chop Jollof, father. Where's I please? See, they bite me. Man, where they bite? They bite. Man, where they bite? You know, shame me, they bite me.
This person,
man, where they bite? You won't bite me. Man, where they bite? I beat. They beg, they help them. They bite me. Jollof, they bite me. If they bite me, I enter plane, I see him. After I see today, he go slap me. I go near and I punch me, boom. When I follow him, he started bite me. He had red. He bite me. Sure? Who is this man? Man, my phone for easy. My phone? Ah, he bites me. Oh God. He won't spoil my tattoo now. It's in teeth and no brush.
Brigade, you the news in a more digital way.
Politics of obvious and apparent personal vendetta among some youths in Edo State, which has been ongoing for years, most especially since the immediate former governor of the state, Godwin Obaseki, left office on November 12, 2024, took a new twist on Sunday night in the city of Manchester in the United Kingdom, as a yet-to-be properly identified man walked into an event hall where the former governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his wife, Betty, were scheduled to meet Edo people, and attacked one of their main political and media supporters, Albert Obaze, who probably had been in the bad books of some Edo youth's sequel to his ways of always defending the ex-governor Obaseki and exchanging words with those against the ex-governor. Videos made available online indicated that Albert Obaze was attacked while he was live streaming the event on Facebook and other social media platforms as guests were coming in and waiting for the arrival of the former Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his wife, Betty. Initially, the suspected attacker walked up to the victim and asked to have a conversation with him, saying, "I am the double chief you are looking for, come let's talk," but Albert Obaze refused and replied to the attacker that, "You are the one looking for me." What had happened, as Albert Obaze continued to demand to know why the attacker had decided to see him, immediately, the attacker hit the victim on the face. Manchester City Police were seen alongside their vehicles shortly after the attack, but the City Police Department is yet to issue a statement as at the time of filing in this report. Albert Obaze, in a Facebook live streaming on Monday early morning night at a hospital in Manchester, said that he's currently having difficulty with hearing in one of his ears hit by the attacker. On November 5, 2025, while on live Facebook video streaming, Albert Obaze had raised alarms of act of possible threat to his life by a man simply identified as Double Chief of Manchester, who he said had threatened to beat him repeatedly if he visited Manchester to attend and organize the Obaseki thank you visit to his supporters. Also during the live video, Albert Obaze narrated how he was almost attacked by some Edo youths in Italy, thus described some Edo youths abroad as people who always act like animals. Before now, Albert Obaze may have faced a lot of threats of possible attacks issued by some Edo youths who also see him as an enemy of the Benin monarch following the controversies surrounding the establishment of Museum of the West African Art, MOWA, in Edo State, which some youths protested and prevented the commissioning of the multi-billion naira cultural hub last Sunday, an act which led to foreign guests being escorted to safety by the Nigeria police force team personally led by the Edo State Police Commissioner. The continued verbal attacks and insults on Albert Obaze and his family, especially his biological parents, in reactions to the political aide's statements over the controversies surrounding the MOWA establishment, made his younger brother, Smart Obaze, to issue a video statement in recent days and insulted his younger brother's principal, ex-Governor Godwin Obaseki, for allegedly endangering his brother's life and bringing all manners of insults to their family, even when his elder brother, Albert Obaze, was never given any political position during his 8 years as governor of Edo State. Smart Obaze asked why must it always be his brother, Albert Obaze, defending and receiving insults because of Obaseki. Why are the Obaseki's family not coming out to defend the ex-governor? Ex-Governor Godwin Obaseki became an issue of concerns for some youths in Edo State after some of the youths in the state tagged the ex-governor as betrayal, saying they were the ones that helped Obaseki to power, but, after taking over as Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki abandoned them and allegedly brushed them aside in the scheme of things, especially in the area of tax collections from traders and commercial drivers. During the time of Godwin Obaseki, the governor put a stop to manual collection of taxes from traders and commercial drivers, and made the method of tax collections electronically. As such, some youths who violated the governor's directives were arrested and detained for days. Some of the arrested and detained youths were members of the governor's former political party who believed they were the ones that helped Obaseki to power during his first tenure as governor of the state in the South-South geopolitical zone in Nigeria.
Manchester, a matter is coming. Manchester, a matter is coming. Oh no! Oh no! Look that gate is not going anywhere. Look your place. Lock the gate. I'm gonna kill you. Lock your place. Kill you. Lock your place. I'm gonna kill you. Lock your place. I come on here. You're crazy. I come on here. You take lock your place.
What is the matter?
Lock the gate. Lock your place. Lock your place. Facebook. Lock your place. I'm gonna kill you. You're crazy. Know me. Lock that door!
Do you know you don't have the right to hold me?
Tell me that you
don't have the right to hold me. You're not
So, guys, so for those struggling with the location, watch this video. So, it's not a hidden event. Hey, my data. I agree to.
Maybe double chief of my.
I agree to. I agree final.
Maybe double chief for you the fire.
I agree to.
The more talk.
I agree to.
More talk.
I agree to though. What's happening?
They say they find me now.
I say they find you. Are you they find me?
I don't see you.
Are you they find me?
More good talk.
Are you they find me?
More good talk.
What's happening?
Who goes?
What's happening? What's happening? Oh no!
Brigade, view the news in a more digital way.
Nigerian Army Authority has confirmed the killing of 4 persons with the inclusion of 2 soldiers and 2 civilian JTF when members of the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP terrorists on Friday evening ambushed a brigade of Nigerian Army, personally led by the brigade commander, Brigadier General M. Uber around Wajiroko community in Azir Malte area of Damboa local government area of Borno State, which, according to Humangle News Media, the ISWAP terrorists opened fire on a convoy of several military and civilian joint task force vehicles, causing the brigade of the armed forces of Nigeria an apparent full destabilization, leading to the Brigadier General missing in action for several hours but started responding to WhatsApp messages few moments later, but the Nigerian Army Authority insisted that the Brigadier General and the commander of the 25 Task Force Brigade personally led the Nigerian Army troops back to base, after an apparent failed attempt to rescue communities that are probably still under terrorists' control in the areas close to Sambisa Forest. According to Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anil, the acting director of the Nigerian Army Public Relations, in a statement issued on Saturday, troops of 25 Task Force Brigade, on routine patrol to secure communities around Wajiroko in Azir Malte, Damboa local government area of Borno State, came under a sudden and heavy insurgents' fire while returning from a successful patrol within the fringes of Sambisa Forest. The patrol team, which was led by the Commander 25 Brigade Brigadier General M. Uber and comprised troops of 25 Task Force Brigade and members of Civilian Joint Task Force, CJTF courageously fought through the insurgents' ambush with superior firepower, forcing them to withdraw in disarray and to abandon their mission. During the encounter, 2 brave soldiers and 2 heroic CJTF members paid the supreme price while on active service to the nation. While commending the troops for the gallantry, the Army High Command commiserates with families and associates of the deceased gallants for their heroic sacrifice to the nation. The Army headquarters also wishes to debunk the fake narrative going round some media platforms online alleging the abduction of the brigade commander. The general public is hereby advised to disregard the fake news regarding the incident while praying for the continuous success of our gallant servicemen and women. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wajiroko, Nigerian Army Medal, salutes the uncommon bravery, resilience and sacrifice of the gallant troops who have continued to operate in one of the most dangerous theaters of conflict on behalf of our dear nation. Their unflinching commitment, even in the face of grave danger, remains a powerful reminder of the daily sacrifices being made by our gallant servicemen and women to keep Nigeria safe. Humangle in its news publication had reported that an attack from members of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, occurred around 5 p.m. yesterday near Sabongari in Damboa local government area, Borno State, northeastern Nigeria. The terrorists, concealed along the route, opened fire on a mixed convoy of soldiers and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force, CJTF, killing 2 soldiers and 2 CJTF personnel. A CJTF member stationed in Nzula, close to the attack site, told Humangle that the convoy was moving in the direction of Bongri when it was intercepted. It was on the Bew Road, he said, requesting anonymity for safety reasons. The convoy consisted of the military and members of the CJTF. A resident of Damboa, familiar with the movement of the convoy, said it departed the town around 2 p.m. with 2 Hilux vehicles, 2 armored personnel carriers, and several motorcycles. The terrorists killed 2 soldiers and 2 CJTF, he said. They also took away some motorcycles. Reinforcement later left Damboa, 2 Hilux and 2 armored vehicles, when the incident happened. However, the most alarming development is the disappearance of a brigade commander who was part of the operation. A senior CJTF member in Damboa, who witnessed the convoy's departure, confirmed the situation. We don't know where he is at the moment, but he responds to WhatsApp messages. The commander was able to return on foot after missing for several hours in what is being described as an escape from the attackers. This is the first time since the start of Nigeria's counterinsurgency campaign that a serving general directly engaged on the front line went missing for a while in an ambush. The development raises concerns about the sophistication of recent ISWAP attacks and the increasing risks faced by senior officers deployed to volatile areas. Damboa and surrounding communities have seen repeated insurgent attacks in recent months, including assaults on patrol teams, ambushes along rural roads, and raids on farming settlements. Residents say the attack underscores the persistent insecurity along major roads despite years of military presence. We were unable to obtain responses from the Nigerian military at the time of press. They had also not issued an official statement.
Brigade, view the news in a more digital way.
President Volodymyr Zelensky has ordered the new Prime Minister of Ukraine, Yulia Sviridenko, to involve law enforcement agencies including the anti-corruption police in the mass audits of Ukraine's state-owned companies. Zelensky, who gave the order this week while in one-on-one meeting with the female Prime Minister, said, "The law enforcement agencies of Ukraine must take immediate action based on the outcome or results of the audits being initiated by Yulia Sviridenko, the current Prime Minister of Ukraine, who assumed office on July 17, 2025, after being confirmed by the Verkhovna Rada, meaning Ukraine's parliament, following President Volodymyr Zelensky's nomination of Sviridenko as part of a major government reshuffle, replacing the previous Prime Minister, Denis Shmyhal, who became the new Minister of Defense, and Sviridenko previously served as the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economic Development and Trade. The new position made her the second woman in Ukraine's history to hold the position of Prime Minister. Meanwhile, during the week, Zelensky also announced that the Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, along with other Baltic-friendly countries of Ukraine, have decided to commit an additional $500 million to the prioritized Ukraine requirements list, Pearl Initiative, a NATO-led initiative to expedite the supply of critically needed US-manufactured weapons to the country, which, Zelensky said, will be of a substantial help. In a number of statements during the week, Zelensky said, "I had a meeting with the Prime Minister of Ukraine. First and foremost, we focused on the situation with recovery efforts in the regions after the Russian strikes. Repair crews are working almost around the clock wherever needed, and the necessary resources have been deployed. We are increasing our reserve of equipment, and work with partners on this issue is constantly ongoing. Julius Sveridenko also reported on the implementation of support programs for frontline and border communities. We are ensuring the necessary funding. Starting tomorrow, a new winter support program for our people will be launched. Government officials will present all the details publicly. Last year, more than 14 million Ukrainians benefited from winter support, and we expect no smaller scale this winter. The Prime Minister reported on the launch of audit processes in state-owned companies. We agreed that the audits must be conducted promptly, and all results must be forwarded to law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies for appropriate action. Personnel decisions will follow based on the findings. I also instructed that Ukraine's key partners be promptly informed about the audit outcomes and related decisions. Transparency in state-owned companies and the elimination of any schemes must be guaranteed. We also discussed personnel changes in the government. The Prime Minister of Ukraine will propose candidates for the posts of Minister of Energy and Minister of Justice. Last night, Patriots performed well, successfully intercepting Russian ballistic missiles. Yet we still need considerably more forces, systems, and compatible missiles to protect lives. This week, the Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, along with our Baltic friends, decided to commit an additional $500 million to the Pearl Initiative, which will be a substantial help. We are also working on deliveries of other advanced air defense systems and strengthening our aviation. A major deal with France is in preparation and will be finalized soon, a historic agreement. We are setting up a deal with Greece as well, on energy to maximize options for gas supplies to Ukraine, both for this winter and strategically for the long term. Agreements with various European countries, from Norway to Greece, will ensure our state's gas supply guarantees. I thank all partners who are helping. I held a video conference with the heads of all Ukraine's diplomatic missions. I am grateful to our diplomats for their efforts and for representing Ukraine's interests with dignity around the world. We discussed the main priorities of their work for the near future and for the coming year. It is crucial to continue strengthening our air defense. Ukraine needs air defense systems and missiles for them. We must expand the Pearl Initiative, through which we receive weapons for our defense, intensify efforts to involve countries that have not yet joined and increase contributions. The development of the SAFE instrument is also important. Other topics included the return of Ukrainian children abducted by Russia and the protection of human rights in temporarily occupied territories. We also discussed the next steps in diplomatic work on UN resolutions supporting Ukraine. Ukraine needs support, and today, it is especially important that every diplomat works to strengthen the state, ensure its protection, and enhance our positions. I presented the orders of the Golden Star and other state awards to the service members of Ukraine's security and defense forces, and handed the distinctions to the families of the fallen heroes who were awarded posthumously. We honor Ukraine's warriors. We thank Ukrainian families for giving us such warriors. We are doing everything to make Ukraine stronger every day. This is exactly what is needed. For every Russian strike, there is our response, and it will become even more tangible. For each of our fallen heroes, we will take revenge. And we will force Russia into peace, without any doubt. The day will come when this war ends, and when we guarantee real security for all Ukrainian children and for all our generations. We must guarantee Ukraine a life without war. Thank you to everyone who is bringing this day closer. And we will always honor the memory of all our people, all our heroes of different times who gave their lives so that Ukraine could live.
After-ISWAP-Ambushed, bringing you the news in a more digital way. After-ISWAP-Ambushed, bringing you the news in a more digital way.